In the 1800s, a British headmaster named Edwin Abbott proposed a land of people who were trapped in 2 dimensions. What if there was a land of people who did not have 3 dimensions as you and I have, and they were trapped in 2 dimensions? He called this land Flatland. What could we learn as enlightened 3Ders if we were to spend time observing those trapped in 2 dimensions? How? If you lived in 2 dimensions, would you experience something that had 3 dimensions? What if you were trapped in Flatland and all you had was height and width? And what if you encountered a 3-dimensional object? What if my ring passed through your 2-dimensional world? What if a 3-dimensional ring passed through this flat 2-dimensional world? If this ring was able to pass through this marker board, how would they see it? Imagine when it first touched, it would be a point. Then as it continued to go through, the point would turn into a line, and then it would turn into 2 lines, and then when the ring was halfway through, it would appear as 2 different lines, and then if it kept going, the lines would come back together, point, and then it would be gone, correct? Because you talk about this all the time with your friends. You're out at a restaurant. You know, I was thinking the other day, napkin, ring, I don't know. Now, how would these 2 process what they just experienced? How would the 2 of them, if that happened? Do you see that? A little weird, wasn't it? What was that? I don't know. Well, what did you see? Well, I saw a point, and it turned into a line, and it turned into 2 lines, and then the lines got farther and farther apart, then they came back together, 1 line, point, and then it was gone. I know. I think it was something more. But what do you mean? I think it might have been a ring. What do you mean? It almost has, to me, a certain Monty Python. A ring? I do say. A ring? Yeah, I think that the point, line, point, I think that was actually something more. Well, have you ever seen a ring? No. Ever seen a picture of a ring? No. Ever held a ring? No. Ever been to Ringville? No, you haven't. So, no, you know what all it was? Point, line. That's all you need to know. Line, point, gone. That's all it was. I don't know. I just, do you have any evidence? No. Do you have any proof? No. Any photos? No. Anything in a lab you could test? No. So this person ends up having to use words like, I don't know, I just sense, feel, trust, believe, have faith. And so the experience of the ring actually reveals 2 vastly divergent worldviews. The one person immediately shifts into Flatland is all we have. It's all we can prove. It's all we know. It's all we can document. And so it's all we have the empirical evidence for. The one person essentially becomes what's called reductionistic. All it was point, line, point, gone. And they can argue very persuasively because this person can't come up with any tangible evidence. And so their worldview is essentially, it's all it is, there's nothing more, don't be all weird. And this person is left in the awkward position of maybe being definitively convinced that that was a ring, and yet all they can do is talk about nudges and hints and senses and feelings and beliefs and maybe even have to use words like faith. Now, what if me, Rob, in all of my 3D-ness, what if I decided to mess with them and I came and just kept my hand like right here? And what if the one said, you feeling anything weird? No. I don't know, man. I think Rob is near. I just feel the overwhelming presence of Rob. And the one could be saying, what are you talking? I could have my hand this close, and the one would be saying, what are you talking about? You're out of your mind. You're talking nonsense. You have to give up all that superstitious, mythic stuff. And the other one was saying, no, I think Rob is very close. Or what if I really wanted to mess with them and I just jammed my hand right through their world? Well, my fingers are of different length and of different thickness. So my fingers would appear at slightly different times, and they would produce circles, and those circles would be of slightly different circumferences and diameters. So the one could say, "Did you see that? Yeah. I think all those 5 circles, I think they're all related." What? They came at different times? They're different sizes? No, I think it was the hand of Ra. And once again, the person with the reductionist viewpoint is they came at different times, they're of different sizes. You have to give up this mythic, superstitious nonsense. All you have is a couple rings, circles that don't have any relation to each other. And the other one sounds like they've completely lost their mind, but in fact, they are dead on right. See, their experiences of three-dimensional objects would expose vastly different worldviews, and the one who sounded crazy would actually be dead right, and the one who sounded extremely rational, calculating, and weighed all the evidence would be missing a whole new reality right here within this one. Now, in Flatland, you also run a risk because there are boundaries in Flatland. There are those who say this is simply how it is. There is no other world. There is no higher law. There is no greater purpose. We have Flatland. That's all we have. And there would be others who would keep insisting there's more, there's beyond, there's something else, and you would have great conflict. The story of human history is the story of enlightened souls again and again who simply insisted this isn't all there is. And others who had great power invested in maintaining this is all there is ultimately have harmed lots and lots. If you were to sort through the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, what is it? The world was ruled by an empire that simply said this is how it works. The Roman emperor is God. Bow down to the emperor. The empire is all-powerful. And an obscure Jewish rabbi comes along and preaches the kingdom of God. What is the essential conflict within the story of Jesus? Somebody who simply looks at the power brokers of Flatland and says, there's more. There's more, 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 more.